Hello and welcome to Remnant 2. I want to show you guys my lightning ritualist build. And just like the name's telling you, we're using the ritualist. We're focusing on lightning damage, overloaded damage. If you're not familiar with ritualist, which I'm sure you are, they're all about using different status effects. I haven't quite hit level 10 yet, but I really wanted to go ahead and make this video, so we're level 9. So once we get level 10, it's obviously just going to be better. But the ritualist, it's all about doing the status effects, and what we're kind of focusing on is like a big, heavy hit with lightning, and then just finishing off big groups of enemies, and it works pretty well with us. So I really enjoy it. It's been the most fun I've had using it, but the ritualist in general has been a lot of fun. So what we're really focusing on is the prime perk, right? The vial. So negative status effects apply infected, so they take more status effect damage, and then when they die, it spreads it, right? And then we've got our axe. The Krell Axe. It applies overloaded when you do a charged attack. It throws it, so it's like a ranged melee weapon. And I also have the Stormbringer Mutator on there. So it increases the status effect damage applied by melee attacks by 50%. And then the charged melee attacks are going to lower enemy resistances to all status damage by 10%, lasting for 10 seconds. So what'll happen is we get a charged melee attack, throw it out there. We hit the dude. It's going to do a bunch of damage just from hitting them. And then it's going to lower their resistances to status effects because of Stormbringer. It's going to get the other effect from our ritualist that it makes them take more damage from our status effects. And then we hit them with overloaded, which is getting a whole bunch of damage bonuses because this is lowered resistances. Ritualist increases damage. We have on the shock device, which increases shock damage by 20% and overloaded by 50%. Alumni ring, increasing elemental damage by 10%. Burden of Destroyer, increasing all our damage by 15%, and the Grounding Stone, increasing our shock damage by 10%. So, and then one last thing, an extra elemental damage over here in our relic. So a whole bunch of things coming together, bless you, that are going to do a huge amount of spike damage to that first dude we hit. And as soon as we hit that first dude, any trash mob that we hit with it, it's pretty much one shot. Hit them, ton of damage, they explode in overloaded, which immediately spreads it to a bunch of other dudes and does a whole bunch of damage to them. And then we immediately follow up with our eruption skill, which has a large radius thanks to us having a bunch of points in resonance and amplitude, because I couldn't remember which one actually affected it. And then it just wipes a whole bunch of them out. And it just wipes dudes. It's super satisfying. And on bosses, I haven't tested it on a true boss, but for a lot of like elite enemies and like big aberrant guys that I fought, it has done pretty well. And part of it has to do with some of our other weapons, because once you get these couple things on, right, or not alchemist, the ritualist, lightning axe, and then just like a bunch of shock damage bonusing items, you can kind of do whatever you want. Your secondary archetype kind of doesn't matter. I'm just choosing to go with the alchemist because I think it's a fun combination, and I'm just on a huge alchemist kick right now. And I really like the elixir of life because we're kind of squishy, so having that kind of free get me back up is really nice. But you can use whatever relic you want, do what you want there. The guns kind of don't matter. I did take the Enigma because it's a shock one, so it makes sense that we would want to use it. And the Enigma is just really good in general. Plus, with all the overloaded and stuff too, I mean, it basically does everything we want to do as well with the ritualist. The Black Maw is just the gun I'm using right now. It's got overflow for more shock damage, and then Fetid Wounds is just another chance of like a different status effect to put on enemies, and that was just my choice in doing it. Plus, it kind of helps with the critical chance. We have critical chance stuff that kind of happens with the ritualist and negative effects. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Stat trait-wise, kind of whatever you want to do, man. Like, there's nothing in your traits that's going to make this build really pop, with the exception of, say, amplitude and resonance, making sure all your effects that you have happening can really hit a big radius. And then once you go past there, it's whatever you want to, like, make yourself safe or, kind of more deadly or fit around your playstyle, whatever. But we're in the hatchery. It's going to be lots of little dudes for us to clear out. And then this boss is going to be really good for us, too, because we're going to do a huge amount of AoE damage. So there's the axe. Pop. And he's gone, and it immediately hits a bunch of little things out there. Well, mostly jars, I guess. And then he exploded there, thanks to the overloaded. We're going to chop him. Oh, he dodged. You got to watch for that sometimes. Sometimes it kind of kills a frame rate with how many things it's kind of hitting, which is a bit of a bummer, but sometimes that is what it is. Punk. And then just like that. Pow. Kind of weakens them. Sometimes it doesn't quite get the spread on all of them, because when you can actually spread it to all the guys, that second overload amount is generally enough to finish all of them. So chop, there it goes. Where are they at? Oh, there's a dude there. Come on. I kind of want to get more guys around us so that I can really show it like spread. Yeah, there we go. All right, ready? So we're going to hit this. Nope, that's the wrong move. Kind of create some distance. And now we... Oh, come on, give me the charge attack. I guess because I don't have the stamina. Ugh. All right, ready? And then they're all gone. Just like that, all gone. Because what it ends up doing is it seems to trigger the overloaded immediately when it spreads to those guys. And for some of them, especially when they're tightly clustered, it just wipes them all out. For some of the enemies, it drops them down like really close, kind of like that. And then you got to wait a second to finish them, or you just give them a couple shots and that'll, you know, do the job for you. But, I mean, on the whole, this thing is just an ad clearing freaking monster. And just watching freaking status effects spread is really satisfying. If I can hit the dude, that'd be really great. Yeah, and then it just breaks things. Just seeing numbers pop up on the screen is also just really satisfying. Let's pop this. Boom. Not quite close enough to spread the things. I do have to say, it kind of jacks my frame rate at times. Like, that's something I've noticed since I've been using it. And especially in some of these sections where there's just like a ton of little things around, ton of little bugs, ton of just big bugs, you know, all kinds of things happening. It turns into a lot for my poor computer to deal with. Now, I have messed around with a couple of other, like, ideas of, like, what to do as a Ritualist. And some of them, like, they work really well. I mean, the Ritualist is just a very... Oh, what am I looking at? Displacer Beast? But the good thing was the Alchemist, man. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Two, because it's, like, it's just about, like, status effects, there's a lot of flexibility in how you kind of want to do it. Like, I've done a couple that have been just really single-target focused ones that have been a lot of fun, and then, you know, it has a potential to spread and do some AoE. I've done more that are like all focused on like doing as many different types of elemental effects on the enemies, and that's quite a bit of fun. Or just focusing on a different type, like I was doing just a corrosion based one, I did just a bleed focused one. Oh, maybe that's why I'm... God, oh lord. Okay, cubes. I hate cubes. All right, so we got a dude. Now we can kind of see what this has got going on here. Do this, open up you. We're gonna hit him. We're gonna roll into the center so we can avoid some of that. Roll backwards again. Throw this out there. Good amount of damage. We're gonna get our relic going so we've got the extra bits of bulwark and stuff on us. Roll back and then move in to avoid some of those cubes. We still got a couple seconds left on our respawn, which is great. Now we just hit him with a whole bunch of this crap, and then followed by, well, nothing because we're down. Now we need to be very careful because we are out of pick-me-ups. Let's move back a little bit and then in. Roll forward. Well, I'm alive. Haha, there we go. Ooh, roll. Chop. Didn't quite get him. Yeah, so that worked out. Get off me. Hey, come on, get off. Stupid bugs. Yeah, so that worked out well. Like, you can see on kind of a boss thing, it can do some good damage. And part of it is also the Enigma, like using the Enigma's mod thing to just stack a whole bunch of constant damage effects on them. If you can get bunches of stacks of overloaded on them and they just stay alive, you can let the elemental damage just do its work and finish the fight for you. I should note too, I don't know that I said it at the beginning, but I am playing on Apocalypse right now because that's, you know, it's typically what I play on. And then two, I want you all to see like how it does on the hardest difficulty, so that depending on what you want to do, you can put it on. Gosh, you know that whatever difficulty you play on, it's probably going to be better, if not the same. You know, and you can always easily make different adjustments to like make the build better. Good Lord, back up. Boom. There we go. Because right, I'm not like super optimized on it. I've made just a few like choices without super testing numbers or anything like that. The armor, you know, I could always go a little bit better on. I've got most of the the Fey Royal armor, and then a couple of the Ritualist armor as well, right? So I'm at 49 for my weight, so I got a medium roll. That's what the Zealots had on. Fey body plate, Fey leggings, and then the Zealots wraps as well. That put me at 49. We've got currently 53% damage reduction, which is okay, right? It's okay. You can see we're not quite getting like one shot. I do have on the Fey Bruiser ring, so that when I hit people with my ranged attack on this, it gives me 2 stacks of bulwark, which gives me another few percentage of damage reduction. All right, so let's take on the Primogenitor, or whatever his name is, and see how it goes here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be really good with all the extra little add dudes. Like, we're going to be able to clear a lot of things all at once. The bad thing I'm worried about is my frame rate. And then two, like, I mean, we should be fine for him. He can be kind of annoying to fight, but maybe, I don't know. I think we'll see some good things happen here. So let's chop him. There we go. Let's hit one of these, followed by some of that. Owie, owie, owie. We'll use a relic now. Gets a stack of support. Boom, boom, boom. Keep rolling it over. Go ahead and do this one. Followed by another axe. Boom. There we go. Roll away. Ooh, yeah. That was a big explosion of stuff. Now, if we can get him with our melee attack, it's going to lower his resistances, which will help us a lot when dealing damage to him. Roll again. I don't care to have him on me right now, though I could totally, like, clear him off with that. Or maybe not. Interesting. Huh. There we go. I kind of thought that would, like, get him off of me, but it really didn't. And the overall AoE amount that I'm doing here to all the little guys and stuff is not nearly as much as I thought there would be. So let's do that. Kind of clear some of them, maybe. There we go. We'll roll over here. Let's hit him with this. Boom. Huh. They're being a lot more sturdy than I expected. That's taking a lot more damage than I would want. Move forward. Let's go ahead and hit him with an overloaded. With, what's it called as well? That's a lot of damage. I mean, look how much that's doing. Let's go ahead and keep spinning around. Trying to avoid just shots from them. I hate when I do that running attack. I'm trying to do a charge attack out of running. And the game wants me to do a just sprinting attack. And that's not what I'm trying to do. So it's kind of annoying there. That was a good thing. Roll back. We want to hit him with the axe because that's going to lower his resistances. I can do it. There we go. Dodge off me. And then let's go to this. And that'll just, you know, work out for hitting him without having to aim. Watch out for him hitting us. Boom. Do some of that. Boom. Hit one of that one. Boom. Boom. Swap to you. We're going to get multiple stacks of status effects on them. Followed by that. Some decent damage. We haven't even used our elixir of life yet, so that's kind of a good thing for us. Oh yeah, oh, good spread. With all the little dudes, whenever we do actually finish somebody, it works really nicely to clear a bunch of them. And we can always just use that to, like, hit a bunch of dudes all at once. Alright, I kind of panicked a little bit and used my elixir of life there. I don't think I actually needed to hit him with that. No, where's he at? Come on. Yeah, there we go. Back it up. And then we just chunk him down with all the lightning damage. He's got a ton of, like, dropped resistances, right? Thanks to our axe and the ritualist stuff. So it allows us to do a lot of damage. So, I mean, it worked out pretty well there. That was one of the easier times I've had with that fight. Because this one can be pretty obnoxious, but it worked out pretty well. I kind of want to try on a bigger guy. And one thing that would probably really mess up this whole build, I mean, it's going to be the same with just about any kind of build, is if you bump into an enemy that has some kind of prefix, affix, whatever you want to call it, that directly counters you. So if we find an elemental resist dude, it's really going to mess us up. Now, we could probably mitigate it with some of our effects, but we're obviously not going to be as effective. So, I mean, it's the same thing that's going to happen with any build. If you're doing a relic build and you find an empathy dude, you know, you're going to have a bad time. If you're really just focused on trading with dudes and then suddenly they've got, like, Skullcracker and Vicious or whatever, like, obviously going to be a bit more difficult, you know, because you're taking more damage. It makes it harder to trade, things like that. So, obviously, depending on what you encounter, it's going to kind of negate the build a little bit, make it a little bit harder. But that's the setup. That, I mean, I've been having a blast with it. Just hit them with lightning. Lightning's a ton of fun. I'm sure you're probably thinking, like, well, if you're doing lightning, why don't you just do the Archon so you can use the Havoc form? But the thing with that one is the overall traits and stuff with the Archon aren't super useful for what we're doing, because I'm not leaning into the mods. I'm just looking for the damage. And this one, like, I mean, mod damage, mod crit chance, casting mod things, mod power, relic for mod power. Like, really the only thing we're getting is this Havoc form thing, which is fun, but not really what I'm looking for right now. So if that's what you want, though, I mean, totally go for it. Now, I think one last thing, because I don't want the video drag on and on and on. But I think if you wanted to, I think you could easily pivot this into another status effect, right? Because Krelax's lightning, it works really nicely because it's ranged, but you could easily go for like a bleed thing with a melee weapon. You could go for the fire with a smolder, corrosion with the gas giant. You could kind of pivot like that and then lean more into those elemental effects, swap out this ring for whatever one that you're using, and kind of go from there. I think this works the best just because of the sheer, like, just immediate burst damage of the lightning. So I think this is kind of the best setup because of how much straight damage the lightning is going to do right off the bat. But, I mean, I've messed around with other things. Other things are going to work, but you're going to have to tweak it. But that's it. Appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to try and do some more things. I want to post my playthrough of the DLC that I did with my dad and brother. However, my computer did not like the zone. Its frame rate was absolutely atrocious. It was constantly up and down, up and down, up and down with the rain, water effects, and things. I just was not working well. Like, I played fine, but the recordings are not looking super amazing, unfortunately. And so I don't necessarily want to post a video that's going to look bad and not play well. So I'm kind of on the fence about it right now. Until the next time, take care.